We're in Titoki, which is half an hour west of Whangārei. I was born here, raised here, went away and farmed elsewhere for a little while, came back home. My wife Vicky and I have been home 12 seasons now. This is our 13th season share milking for my mum and dad. We were really lucky with the way the farm is and the way it's been developed by my grandfather and my father over the years. And then everything we're doing is looking to enhance what's already there, or just continuing to build on the work that's already been done.
This one is carrots, and they like to be planted in a wet kind of area. This is a fertiliser tab, and you put it in the hole before you put the plant in. It helps the plants grow.
We put in flax, carrots, karamu, and we've got kānuka, manuka, some ribbonwoods and some puriris. I guess planting things is our way of ensuring that there's something here for the future. I don't know exactly what's coming in terms of greenhouse gases and how that will be measured, but I do know that every plant that we plant now has got to be helpful in some way. Whether it's counted or not is not the point for me. It's just about doing something for the environment and making sure that, like I say, there is something here for the future.
For me, it's looking to make sure whatever we're doing on farm here is not going to have a detrimental effect on either the waterways or looking at our emissions. It's being aware of our impacts. Once people actually understand or know what their farm profile looks like in terms of their emissions, they've got a better idea then of where they can start looking to fine-tune their system and find ways to start reducing their emissions. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we've transitioned this farm from a full spring calving farm to a full autumn calving farm. And we did that to match our grass growth on the farm a lot better. With the way the summers have been, and I suppose as a result of the way the climate's changing, we're certainly growing a lot less feed through the summer than we used to. We've got quite a lot of volcanic soil up the top here, and so we'll grow a lot more feed on farm in the winter months than we will in the summer months. So we thought it suited us best to actually milk our cows while we're growing the grass. We've started looking at using cocksfoots and fescues, different cultivars of grass coming through, or different varieties of grass that seem to be more drought and more summer tolerant. With that, we're also looking to put a lot of chicory in there and start to use some plantain. Plantain's going to have some benefits for reducing nitrates as well, or nitrogen loss. We're starting to use more clovers in the pasture and changing our FERT program a little bit to really try and promote the clover growth. So the more we can get more clover and these diverse species, we should be able to look to grow more feed on farm throughout the whole year, because that's one of our key drivers of efficiency is the more actual feed we can grow on farm, the more efficient we're going to be. We've also dropped 30 cows out of the system, so we've come from 430, 435 cows down to 390 to 400, but we're actually making more milk than we used to. We're putting in a similar amount of inputs into the system, so we've increased our conversion of feed into milk quite a lot, and even though our total emissions haven't changed drastically, our emissions output per kilo of milk has improved a lot. But as a result also, we've managed to lower our replacement stock numbers by lowering the herd number as well. There's a lot less emissions being created just purely from less animals. Other things we've been doing, we're doing a lot of focus around animal breeding. We're getting rid of our lower quality animals earlier in the season. If they're not performing for whatever reason, we'll be looking to cull them earlier. We're being a lot more selective when we do our mating. So all our genetically superior stock, we're breeding all our replacements off them, and cows that aren't genetically as good, we're putting beef bulls over them, so that we're not actually keeping replacement stock from our less efficient cows. And then we're supplying the beef market with calves right throughout calving rather than just the tail end of calving. Putting a lot of focus on transitioning the herd to a highly efficient herd that's going to convert grass or whatever feed we're putting in into milk as efficiently as possible, so that even though if we keep putting the same amount of feed in, we're creating more milk, or we can run less cows, put less feed in and still make the same amount of milk, which is going to allow us to reduce our emissions profile. We can see what's coming at us, so we want to try and get ahead of it. We want to try and adapt our farm to this changing environment before we have to or before it's too late, and we've got to try and scramble to change our system in the last year or two. We're looking to work out how we can transition there so it's not such a shock once the pricing does come in. We know it's coming. We're looking how to transition ourselves there and gathering the data along the way so that we can show that this has been our journey. If this is the way the future is looking ahead, we want to be ahead of it so that we can sort of manage our own destiny.